Chattle!
Yaddle Chattle.
Woo! Yeehaw! Ahoo! Well, it is indeed Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast, baby. We are back this week for an action-packed episode. Lots of electricity this evening. Darth David here, baby. The Sith on the show, giving you the nuts and bolts about Star Wars in the way of the Sith. But I can't do this show alone. I need some light side of the Force with me, as always. Put them together for Jedi Jared.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here after YaddleCon last week. We had a great time.
At YaddleCon, the first ever Yaddle convention, where two people showed up, and their names were Darth David and Jedi Jared. No, just kidding. You're kidding, of course. Where were we, really?
We were at FezCon.
We were at FezCon last week, and it was spectacular. Jedi Jared, you went?
I went.
You did not give me a ride.
No, I did not. I told you I wasn't.
So, last week I asked you for a ride on Yaddle Chattle to FezCon, by the way, honoring the great Fez Whatley of the Ron and Fez show, and it was spectacular. A beautiful Fez exhibit, beautiful Fez pictures all over the place, beautiful setup at the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square, New York City. And we had an amazing time. There was hundreds of Ron and Fez fans there from the back in the day.
It was awesome.
Oh, God, we had a blast. We had a blast.
It was so much fun.
Unbelievable.
And that, like exhibit that they set up with, like, the life of Fez.
Yeah, it's what I just fucking said there, Deffy.
Was incredible.
I know. Turn up your miracle ear. I said that 2.5 minutes ago. I said the Fez exhibit was amazing. All artifacts and coats and robes, his wrestling gear. Oh, my God. Beautiful. So FezCon was a major success. So, maybe someday there will be a Yaddle Chattle Con, but like I said, I'm not. I wouldn't anticipate more than 8 people showing up. So I don't think we need it to be a con.
No.
Maybe just Yaddle bar night with our 8 pals.
A Yaddle bar crawl.
No bar crawl, you fucking nerd. The most overrated fucking thing in the world is a bar crawl. Because all the time I'm just walking, thinking, man, this bar crawl sucks because every time we go walking for 25 minutes to the next bar, I lose all buzz. You know what I call that? Headache crawl. Or a premature hangover crawl. Because you're fucking taking 45 minutes between drinks because you're fucking walking and then waiting in line for the next goddamn drink and then walking, waiting in line for the next drink. Pub crawls suck my ass. I'm a goddamn Sith. I like sitting on the fucking throne, fucking having goddamn Jack and Cokes poured into me. Darth David don't want to do it, don't goddamn
I'm aware,
pub crawl.
I'm aware of that.
I don't like pub crawls. I like to plant my ass on the table and drink till I fall down.
And you know, it was funny. It was
no walking, no standing. Sit down in an Irish pub and drink until you piss yourself.
And basically, you kind of did that at FezCon. At least you were holding court like
bullshit.
No, not like you pissed yourself, but you held court like Sheev Palpatine would hold court. Like, people were coming to you, paying respect to you.
Yeah, because I didn't drink heavily at FezCon.
No, you didn't.
I had a Guinness in my hand at all times.
I'm aware.
My decision was a smart one because I had no less than 8 to 9 to 10 shots bought for me. And people giving me the guilt trip of, I came here from Montana. You got it. Well, I'm from Georgia. You got to, hey, I'm from Texas. Come on. I'm from Canada. Hey, I bought you this shot. I'm from San Francisco. Here's your shot. Just every goddamn fucking shot. No, that's not what I meant. You know what I meant. I'm just trying to create wacky characters.
Okay.
The fact that guy happened to, but the point is this. So many shots that I was actually trying to turn some away. Because I was like, please, this ain't 2006, man. I can't do this shit anymore. Marijuana's legal in New Jersey, so the Dave Mann's alcohol intake has gone way down. Way down. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying with the legalized marijuana, why not have 3 IPAs and some weed? And goodness gracious, the Dave Mann's ready to play Mario Kart and watch some Star Wars. That's what I do. So I don't do the 16 Jack and Cokes anymore. That way I used to.
You can't anymore. You're getting too old for this shit.
I mean, I'm not Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. I mean, I could probably do it for a night, but I also didn't want to be sloppy and fucking falling on people at FezCon because it was as much of a, memorial and as it was a celebration, a chance to finally say goodbye as well, because we weren't able to do that with the lockdown and the COVID and this and that. Oh my God. But it was a great night.
It was.
I had a blast.
Thank you to everyone who put that together.
Yes, everyone at Bennington show.
Thank you.
Ron, Gail, Chris Pepper Stanley.
Oh, Pepper, he was like...
He was irritated at me.
Well, he was...
For no reason.
Well, he was the MVP. He worked the whole night.
He worked the whole night.
Yeah, he was recording everyone's Fez memorials.
Oh, wow.
Fezatorials.
That's right, he was. Yeah, he got mad at me for a second because I cut some people in line accidentally. I thought they were on line for the exhibit.
Oh.
The line for the exhibit and the line for his fucking thing were they on the exact same spot. So he gets mad at me and I go, I didn't know. You, Chris Pepper Stanley, Bobby Tamburo, almost everyone but Roy gets way too angry at me instantly. And you never just relax for 2 fucking seconds and understand that innocent mistakes are made in life. The goddamn exhibit's here. The Chris table's here. There's a line. I thought they were in line for the exhibit, so I just walked up to the table and I go, I'll do the testimonial after this guy. He's like, we got you, don't fucking cut, you fucker. You think you're a prima donna? I go, I've never acted like a prima donna in my goddamn life. Just ask the 8 goddamn people I took a fucking shot with if I'm a prima donna.
No,
most prima donnas go, I ain't drinking that.
No, you were taking pictures with
prima
everybody.
Prima donna, my dick.
Shaking hands with everyone.
Thank you. But it was a great night.
Yeah, there was these guys that came from Boston. Like, this was kind of their, like, radio vacation. That's the kind of way that they described it. And one of the brothers was like, he really wanted a picture with Eastside Dave. So I told the other brother, I'm like, just go up to him and ask for a picture.
I know. I wish everyone had, because I actually got a couple messages of people saying, I was going to go up to you, but you were in conversation. I go, my conversations are never important. I am the furthest thing from the President of the United States. Nothing important. You have every right to walk up during a conversation and say hello. I might finish the conversation, but then I'll turn my head to you and then start another fucking nonsensical, insane, ranting, psychedelic conversation. Like, that's just all I do is go from person to person, just go on. Sometimes it's the same rant. I'll be like going to one person for 30 seconds, like, I fucking hate the goddamn Giants offensive coordinator. And the reason why, and then that person leaves, they'll just turn over. And the reason why is because, and it's like the next person's like hearing this thing during the middle of my speech.
It's one gigantic stream of consciousness from person to person.
That actually happened a few occasions during the thing where it was like someone just would walk in and they would be like the only person I was talking to, but they were in like act 3 of a 3-part story. They're like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? This is the first time we've ever met. My name is Brian. I'm from Pennsylvania. Oh, sorry, Brian. I thought you were here the whole time. Listen, we got a lot to cover. We got some Star Wars to cover, baby. We got some good Star Wars to cover, baby. Now, I want to get right into something that I saw that was of interest, or you saw as well. Daisy Ridley weighing in on the Rey Skywalker controversy that we thought had originated in Episode 8, The Last Jedi, because it seemed like Rian Johnson was saying that Rey doesn't have parents. Well, Daisy Ridley actually says that was a J.J. Abrams idea.
Yeah.
Not Rian Johnson. She said JJ originally was not going to have her have any, famous parents, any famous ancestors. And then by episode 9, when that rolled around, JJ changed his mind. But everyone blames Rian Johnson for that, and they shouldn't. Daisy says, if you're going to blame anyone for that, that's a Rian Johnson thing. She also says, though, she likes it either way. She thought Rey with no parents was cool because it's like someone who can go out and do it on their own. But she also said she liked it as a Palpatine because she says, this is Daisy Ridley saying, then it means no matter who you come from, no matter who your family is, you're your own person. You're your own unique, independent, special individual. So it doesn't matter what kind of friends, family, environment you come from, you can make your own destiny. And she got that with Palpatine, and she liked it. My point is, does this get you a little bit off of Rian Johnson's back? And then I have a little bit more of Last Jedi.
Honestly, I don't have, like, out of all my qualms with that movie, that is probably one of the least things I am, like, angry about as far as with that. Like, that idea of Rey being a nobody. I thought it was disappointing, but I understood why they would do it, because George Lucas tried to quantify the Force in the prequel trilogy, you know.
Right, that was a little bit of a mistake.
Like with the midichlorians and all that, and the whole idea behind.
But he goes back and says that was never supposed to be, you know, if you have a certain amount of midichlorians, you simply have more Force. It's an indicator, the way Einstein would have probably more brain cells, but it doesn't mean, well, that you're automatically a genius. I don't know. They did say Einstein's brain is legitimately 20% bigger than the average human brain.
I mean, cranial capacity has something to do with intelligence.
Well, there you go.
But,
so he had more brain, and he happened to be a genius. Doesn't mean you're always going to be that way. It just means that if you have an abundance of something, you're on the right path.
I think that.
But you didn't mind Daisy Ray?
Originally, like, because here's the problem. In The Force Awakens, she's kind of a wonderkin. And, you know, what we see with these, like, the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, is he really doesn't have much Force power in Episode 1. Same thing with Luke. Like, being a Skywalker, being part of this, like, pedigree, you don't really, like, Luke gets his ass beat when he's doing lightsaber training, you know? But Rey picks up a lightsaber and knows exactly what to do and how to wield the Force. You know, it kind of infers that maybe she's from a strong pedigree.
I think so. They also had her training with that staff throughout Episode 7.
Yeah, but...
That's why she had the staff. Because if you looked at how she first held the lightsaber, her hands were apart. So they were setting it up with the staff that her hands were apart. She had the same grip as she did with the staff.
I guess, but like wielding a lightsaber and wielding like a bow staff are
obviously it's different. I'm just letting you know that it's not like it popped out of nowhere. They gave us foreshadowing with the fact that she had a staff, and then when she picked up the lightsaber, she held it the same way with the hands apart.
No, I understand that, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, in Episode 7, she beats a Skywalker, like, not really having a problem with it. Like, she goes toe-to-toe with a trained Jedi/Sith, or whatever, Knight of Ren.
Right.
With no real training.
Because the Force awakened in her. She's strong with the Force.
I understand being strong with the Force. Anakin was strong with the Force. Luke was strong with the Force.
Don't get bogged down by this stupid ass shit.
No.
Do you
That's
care if she's a fucking Palpatine or not?
Oh, no, I don't really care. In fact,
that's all we're talking about is her ancestry, for Christ's sake.
I don't care about that.
Jesus.
I just didn't really care about that because, in fact, I thought it made, like, the Force more mystical again. That, like,
so which way would you have preferred it? Her with no parents or her as a Palpatine? You're on the button, 5 seconds.
Her with no parents.
Okay, I'm a Palpatine fan.
Really?
So I'm going to...
Well, no, I meant like you're a fan of the fact that she would be Palpatine's granddaughter?
In every way!
Really?
Yes! Why shouldn't she be a Palpatine? It's great. And why is being a Palpatine such a bad thing?
It's not so much...
The fans go nuts about the retcon and the retcon. Well, guess what, folks? The guy who came up with the idea of her having no parents realized it was maybe it wasn't the greatest idea. And you know why, Jared? You know why you're wrong? Because George Lucas said these movies are about a family, a connection.
Yes.
So
Skywalker.
Don't go into business for yourself, Rian Johnson, or, J.J. Abrams. Don't go into business for yourself. Connect her to somebody. Thank you.
Yeah, the whole thing is supposed to be about Skywalkers.
And you could now make an argument, Skywalkers and Palpatines, since the prequel had Palpatine hanging around from the very first movie. He's a very important character.
I mean, if they were going to make it about anyone, when we were talking about when episode 7 came out, and you were like, "Who's Rey? Who's Rey?" You were like, "She should be a Kenobi," and it would have made far more sense.
What I said.
If she was Obi-Wan's daughter.
It's what I goddamn fucking said. Everybody, nobody listen to me.
Because if it's about family, the closest thing...
And then we could have had in the Obi-Wan series, Ewan McGregor with a lady.
Yeah, and going back and kind of...
You know what I also said, though?
What?
I had one that I thought would have rocked Star Wars fans' worlds. And I thought it made sense.
That she was Luke's
Carrie
daughter?
Fisher is an American. And while she had, and I know Jared's going to quibble, so I'm going to preempt his quibbling. While Carrie Fisher had some weird quasi-British accent in just the first movie, episode 4, she was American in the other 2. She spoke with her American accent, okay? So, Daisy Ridley don't have no American accent, right? Rey has no American accent. She got a British accent. Who does have a goddamn fucking British accent? With brown hair, who's in love with Han Solo? Kara. And here's what happens. We know, Kara from Solo, Emilia Clarke. We know after Kylo Ren, after he pulled his fucking bullshit with killing everyone and ripping down the temple, we know that bummed Han Solo and Leia to such a great extent that they separated. They both probably blamed each other and they moved on. Here was my point. In that 10-year separation, and it's not like he's cheating. It's a 10-year separation, maybe in year 5, so there's enough time out, enough time before. Year 5 of this 10-year separation, whatever, maybe he sees Kira. They have a little fling, a little old times, a little adventure, a little smuggling, a little fun. And that's how Rey was born. Also, don't we know that Kira has the Force? It looked like it was suspected that she had been trained by Darth Maul and was probably Force sensitive.
Oh, I didn't...
Yes, sir! She fucking contacts Darth Maul at the end of Solo.
Well, because he's the boss.
Yeah, but she had the Force. She wasn't getting rid of that guy simply because she was a good soldier. It was because she was Force sensitive and Maul had been training her in the dark side. I'm telling you.
That'd be interesting for a Solo, too.
And then you have all of the explanation of why Rey has the Force. Kira has the Force. Rey's got the dark hair. Kira's got the dark hair. Rey's got the British accent. Kira's got the British accent. And timeline, we could make it work. We could absolutely make it work in the timeline, too. Because Kylo Ren was like, what, 12 or something, or 13 or whatever like that, and he's supposed to be 10 years older than her. Boom. I mean, all of this works. That's what they could have done. No one fucking listens to David.
Well,
Disney,
they could,
Bob Iger,
because
start listening to David. Darth David knows what he's talking about. But I will help your organization.
You couldn't have done it, though, unless... Well, here's the thing. Solo came out between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, Han Solo's already dead, and Carrie Fisher was dead.
Carrie Fisher died shortly after the premiere of The Last Jedi.
And they had...
What is your point?
They would have had to bring in an older Kira to kind of make this revelation.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, then who would make the revelation that it was Han Solo's daughter?
Oh. Okay. Well,
and that they were brother and sister.
That's your fucking thing? You ever hear of Hollywood? You know, they actually have this thing called hair dye. You put some gray hair on Emilia Clarke.
I'm saying is that they would have to either...
They would have to bring it anyway. Emilia Clarke is alive. Make her old.
I understand that. So they'd have to bring her in as an old character for people who might not have seen Solo.
So let's do it.
I don't know. I liked your Obi-Wan. I liked the fact that she was Kenobi because it made sense because Anakin and...
Also, let me just go back to the Han Solo thing. What? When Maz Kanata asked Han Solo in episode 7, who's the girl? And Han gives her that look. It is a very distinctive, I don't care what anyone says. It's a distinctive, I know who the girl is look, but I can't tell you right now. It's a little complicated. The way he looks at her, and I know this is for the YouTube crowd, is kind of, I can't really tell you right now. To me, that almost reads, okay, remember that girl Kira? Remember her? Okay, I know. Me and Leia were on a break, Maz. Maz, don't judge us. Me and Leia were on a break. But I gotta tell you, Kira's always been hot to trot for me, Maz. But we could. I'm just saying. Now, okay, you like my Kenobi thing?
I always liked the Kenobi thing because it made sense that the whole thing's about family, and Ben Kenobi has always been the closest thing to either a father figure.
I will say the
brother,
timeline
or
would be
an
tough
uncle.
because he was killed 30 years before Episode 7.
So it would be his granddaughter.
You could do that.
And that, you could have made it so that, when
You could do that.
Luke found the son and daughter and raised him, took him under the wings.
Yes,
you
sir.
had that continuous cycle.
Not bad. Give
right?
yourself... Actually, give me 15 points because this really is my idea. I'm giving you
No,
minus 2
again,
for
this
ironing out some of the details.
These conversations were the conversations that were the impetus for Yaddle Chattle.
These are the conversations that should be happening at Lucasfilm. Come on now. Start thinking deeply about this shit.
Because
I want to discuss one thing.
We were saying that it was his granddaughter.
Right.
Because it would have made sense that maybe Kenobi started a family in his time of exile.
I know. We got it. Yaddle heads understand. They know. He didn't fuck goddamn Satine.
And then when shit hit the fan, Luke could have hidden her the way he was hidden as a baby.
There you go.
To protect her.
Thank
Because
you.
he owed it to
Maybe that's why
Ben.
he was on the fucking island in the first place, and then someone else took her or something like that. She got kidnapped. Listen, I want to move on for a second. My challenge to you is to rewatch Episode 8. I did with some marijuana assistance, just to change it up a little bit.
Okay.
I had a spectacular time. I go back and forth with that movie. It's like the goddamn fucking stock exchange over here. But right now, The Last Jedi stock is up. The movie is visually spectacular. It is. I don't fucking care what you say.
No,
The only problem is the Luke Skywalker death. We go into it every goddamn week. We're not going to go into it now. Yaddle fans are like, please don't. That is a major problem because Rian Johnson literally took one of the biggest chess pieces off the board for the next director. It was an insane decision when you really look at it. But if he doesn't kill Luke Skywalker, he has a great movie. Not good, great. Because the shitty Luke and the Finn not doing jack and shit of importance in that movie is fine. Because then it wouldn't be repetitive when we get the redemption story of fantastic Obi-Wan Kenobi Luke and Jedi in training Finn in Episode 9. We bring them both down to push them both up. Rian Johnson actually set up a beautiful redemption story in Episode 9. If he hadn't killed Luke Skywalker, I'm telling you, is there a way to retcon that? Because Last Jedi is a good fucking movie if Luke survives. I'm telling you.
There is a way to retcon it, and that's what they're going to explore in the Ahsoka series.
I'm telling you. I want a homework assignment of you to watch The Last Jedi for the next episode. And just see if I'm right.
Okay.
Because I actually found it to be rather enjoyable. Now, if you have to take some puffs of your marijuana pen, go right ahead. I did.
I got to finish The Northman first.
The Northman?
Yeah, The Northman.
The fuck is this?
You never seen it? Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Vikings?
Yeah, but
this ain't Viking Chattle.
I know, but it's Robert Eggers. The guy
We're
who did
moving
the
on.
guy who did the Lighthouse.
We're so moving on.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
We just brought up Solo. I'm gonna give you another story. Alden, how do you say his name? You're Jewish. He is too.
I want to say Heinrich.
There's 3 syllables. Wouldn't it be Ehrenreich or is it Ehrenreich?
Ehrenreich, I guess.
But that's an EH. There's no I there. So is it Ehrenreich or Ehrenreich?
I don't know.
Is he Jewish or is he German? That could be German.
It's a German name.
Could be Jewish German, right?
It's possible. I mean, he works in Hollywood, so anything's possible.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, we run that industry.
My God!
What
kind of controversial sociopathic comments are that? Please, Jedi Jared.
I mean, it's statistically a fact.
Can we move on from that? Alden Ehrenreich says he'd be happy to return as Solo.
To work with Ron Howard again, to work with
Let's
that cast.
do it. Let's do it.
I don't.
Am I the only one who likes Solo?
No, I liked it. I was.
I'm pissed.
I thought it was okay the first time I watched it, and then the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot better.
I love it. I love the train. It's got really great action sequences, and at the very least, if you can't get into Star Wars for great Star Wars action sequences, I don't know what's wrong with you, but it's got a lot. The speeder chase at the beginning is phenomenal. I love the train robbery. Holy shit, that thing is incredible. I love the fights, at the end there. And the Millennium Falcon. We got the Kessel Run, and it was beautifully executed on screen, is what I'm saying.
No, I thought it was a fine movie.
Great movie.
I like Ron Howard films.
Love him.
I think the fact that he had to pick up like a broken project, and like I've said before, that scene where him and Kira go to the transport station.
Yes.
And the way it was shot was like so classic Ron Howard.
Oh, awesome.
Like I've seen him use that shot in like train stations and stuff like that before. Like I feel like in one of those Dan Brown books he made into
probably
it looked
Angels
like,
and Demons type of deal.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code one.
Or Da Vinci Code.
Or he's done it before, but I'm like, it's such a classic Ron Howard shot.
And I like that. There's nothing wrong with a filmmaker that has, a specific
and he's a
view,
fan.
A specific aesthetic. It's why I love Steven Spielberg movies so much. They look like Steven Spielberg movies, and who doesn't like that?
He's a fan. He's
a fan.
Friends with George.
He was friends. George was his mentor, bub. Get it straight. Don't get it twisted. It's a little movie called American Graffiti, and George Lucas goes, "Hey, Ron, you expressed interest in making movies. You wanna watch what I do here?" And then later on, fucking Willow, "Hey Ron, you said you wanted to make a fantasy movie. I got a script idea."
Because what's his face?
That's why
his first movie was a Corman movie he directed. No one wanted to give him money, and Corman's like, "Here's $6,000."
Are you arguing that fucking George Lucas didn't produce Willow?
No, I'm not. I'm not arguing.
This isn't about when he started. It's about George Lucas mentoring Ron Howard, which he did twice. His fucking shitty Roger Corman movies isn't what he wanted to do with his career, bro.
But it was
he wanted to be a major filmmaker.
Yeah,
that was going to
and Corman was the only.
You
person.
do know someone can have more than one mentor, don't you?
Yeah, I have.
So there's no reason for this Roger Corman story.
Okay, I'm just saying. Grand Theft Auto was his first.
Minus 3,000 points. I tried, folks.
Okay.
I gave him a long leash with that Roger Corman bullshit, and he just refused to back down. Minus 3,000. I'm sorry, Jared.
Okay, fine.
I gave you a long leash.
Okay.
Jared.
Yes.
New Yoda comic book suggests, due to his old age, that Yoda has more of a mindset that would be more equivalent to God than a person. That he's so old and so strong with the Force, so all-powerful, and even at times omnipresent, where with the vision and the psychic powers, that he can't even relate to regular people, not just humans, but aliens. He can't relate to regular people who would get upset at trivial things, or maybe even get upset at relationships or this or that. Yoda thinks, well, what's the point? Yoda's very detached. Now, question for you, Jared. You're on the button. Is this a good portrayal of Yoda? Is this a questionable portrayal of Yoda for you?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a goddamn good question, ain't it?
It is a very good question.
Well, you're on the button.
No, but there's a lot to think about. There's the fact that Yoda isn't an active Jedi in the sense that he's not out investigating things up until the Clone Wars.
Okay.
And then he's a general. But then even in the Clone Wars, he still makes mistakes. And then there's that whole episode where he goes on the quest to, find Qui-Gon.
All right, but keep it in the movies.
In the movies?
Try to keep it in the movies.
I mean, he's an old hermit in the movie. Like in the original trilogy.
The prequels count.
Well, in the prequels, he's completely out of touch. It's because, again...
So you think he has a God complex?
No, I don't think he has a God complex.
Is he detached?
He's detached, yes.
I disagree with you. I disagree with the guy who said this, the comic book. It's not detached. If anything, he feels too much. If he was detached, he wouldn't have been worrying about Anakin, rubbing his little hair, getting all nervous. He saw what was going on with Anakin, and he was stressed out about it. And he was thinking, how can I prevent this? I know this kid is special, but I also feel like he's going down the wrong path. I don't know what to do. That's not how God would think. God wouldn't be rubbing his fucking head, doubting shit. Get a big flood. Flood over every one of Anakin's enemies. You know? And then tell Anakin, get a little boat and put all the put the Gungans on it. Put the Ewok, put 2 Ewoks on it.
So I don't know if this is, this is George Lucas trying to write a story, but...
Right, come on, wait a second. Why can't we have a Star Wars Noah's Ark type of deal? I mean, Bob Iger, I just got you a movie. It started as a funny little thing. No more. Instead of a rain thing, maybe there's a volcano and the lava starts spreading over the whole planet instead of water. All right? And the guy's got to get the animals and the aliens and the little fucking stuff, and he's got to get them off, just like a Noah's Ark scenario.
Are you trying to recruit Roland Emmerich to direct a Star Wars
I'm
movie?
just giving Bob Iger some ideas. If Bob Iger doesn't realize that Davey Mack is an idea machine, he's nuts.
That's a Roland Emmerich idea.
You don't like Noah's Ark in Star Wars in space? That's what we're going to call it. Hey, Bob, here's the idea. Noah's Ark in space.
Someone's going to make that movie. I mean...
Watch, every goddamn movie that we bring up on Yaddle Chattle, someone does. If that happens, Lucasfilm, you owe us a fucking check.
Again,
I know you probably don't want us officially on your payroll because you're embarrassed. That's fine. Give me the goddamn money, though.
I guarantee you... Well, this is like the premise of so many sci-fi movies.
Oh, thanks. Now I'm an unoriginal prick.
Well, no, it's just... There's always... Isn't that what... Interstellar is kind of about?
No, goes through this thing that looks like
they have like
a light bright machine, and then the next thing you know, he's in a different dimension.
Yeah, but they've got like all the embryos and stuff like that. It kind of serves as an arc. There's 2012. I can see it being done as a cash grab, but I mean, it won't really add anything necessarily, or maybe they'll do it as an episode of like The Bad Batch,
all right,
or something like that.
Next one.
Okay.
This is rapid fire.
Okay.
Skeleton Crew with Jude Law has wrapped up.
Oh, that's great.
And they say that it might be released later this year. It was supposed to come out this year?
I think so.
Okay.
It's either the end of this year or the beginning of next year.
On the thumbnail, we have a picture of Jude Law with a couple of it looks like, you know, those like balls that were in Jabba's door in Revenge at Jabba's palace.
Oh, the eye thing.
And yeah, that comes out of the door, talks to 3PO and R2.
The nest.
It looks like he's got like a few of those surrounding him, and that's the only picture. That's our thumbnail. It's that. But I will say, I like Jude Law. I'm a Jude Law fan. He's one of those actors that you don't realize you're a fan of until you go, I like this movie, this movie, this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, I watched that show that he was in on HBO. Like, I even watched The New Pope or whatever it was called. A weird show on HBO where he played a fucking pope who was like a shit-talking bad guy.
Smoking, like,
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it, but I knew about it. I'm like, oh, I should watch that.
I actually enjoyed the show.
Was good?
I did, yeah. I've liked this guy for years. All of a sudden, just the one picture got me excited.
I know, it's supposed to be like the Goonies in space.
That's what they said. Yeah. 4 kids lost trying to find home. Are you looking forward to this yourself?
Yeah. It's going to be something different.
I like the title, Skeleton Crew. I like that. You know? Next one. Told you. Chock full of Star Wars tonight, folks. I told you.
Okay.
People are talking about... And then we'll go into the Bad Batch. People are talking about Star Wars animation.
Yeah.
And they're saying, because the Bad Batch really is a spinoff. Let's not do Bad Batch talk right now. We're going to save it for episode 5. But the point is that Bad Batch is a proper spinoff. And people are saying one of the things that was so fantastic about the Clone Wars is that it was so rich and epic, showed more of the Republic, more of the bureaucracy, more of the red tape, the politics.
But it also
and people are saying, when can we have another animated series like that? Star Wars High Republic.
Big comic book now. A lot of...
You have wanted them to do Star Wars High Republic in some way, shape, or form. You've wanted them to do movies and shit, right? Yeah. Live action stuff. But what I'm saying is, why don't we start with a Clone Wars, 5, 6 seasons, epic fucking Star Wars High Republic series, animation series.
No, I agree.
This seems like a good idea to me.
I think, they should probably hire some of the comic book writers to build a
and
universe.
then you're testing the waters, too, to see how much gauge there is for a High Republic anything. If, like, 0 people watch, you might not want to make an entire series or movie. But if it gets buzz, go for a series.
I could see that. No, I'd be on board. I think a lot of people want to see it stretch their wings. It needs to be different but familiar. That I think is the key to the success of Star Wars.
Look ahead, please. Okay.
That's all. No, I want to see... I think it would be cool to see a young Yoda.
He won't be young, they said. If it's only 100 years... They said he's still an old guy up until like from 500 on. He's kind of the Yoda we know.
From 500 on.
You gotta go way back in the past for young Yoda.
Yeah, and you know his trainer was an orange version of himself, like that species.
Oh, really?
His master was an orange.
How do you know this?
It's all like extended like all the books and stuff like that.
And so the extended universe is canon?
I mean, they could pull it and make it canon again.
The answer's no, it's not! So fuck you with little goddamn orange popsicle that taught Yoda. Okay?
It would be fun.
Next one. And then we get into the Bad Batch real quick.
Okay.
James Cameron says Disney Star Wars not as, what's the exact phrase? Innovatively... Okay, he says every single George Lucas, including the prequels, he said all 6 George Lucas Star Wars films have, quote, more innovative visual imagination than the Disney movies. Innovative visual imagination. Do you agree or disagree? Jedi Jared, let's go.
Of course. George invented all this technology. Like, he didn't, wasn't the guy inventing it, but, he's responsible for all of this technology that we have. I mean... I'm trying
to think, though, under the Disney era, with movies. Let's just stick with movies, because that's what James Cameron said. Have we seen something that was innovative? There were plenty of things that have blown my socks off and made me go, that looked awesome.
No.
Nothing innovative?
I don't think so.
You don't think... I just saw The Last Jedi, so again, and I enjoyed it. You don't think that casino... part was just a bigger, fancier cantina.
That whole scene.
That whole scene was great.
It would have been, like I said, it would have been better if it was Poe and Finn and they made it a buddy comedy.
I know. We're done with the Last Jedi goddamn talk. Just say. All right. What about Snoke? That was sort of innovative. Snoke was an all 3, CG character. And you can't tell me that, and I'm not a Jar Jar hater. I actually think Jar Jar is a successful character because George wanted him to be an irritating goofball. That's what he was. But it was to show that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and that's what it was too. But you look at Snow compared to Jar Jar, one is a straight-up cartoon, and one looks like a guy in the room. That's not innovative? No points for that?
Yeah, but it's all because of the work that and the investment that George made that possible.
Well, listen, if you're going to go that route, then literally everything CG is due to George Lucas. I understand. You're right. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying. I'm looking for something innovative in the Disney movies, in the Star Wars.
I think Cameron's right.
Nothing innovative.
No.
Rogue One? I mean, it's a great movie. Nothing innovative.
I really like
Death Star getting the satellite dish put into it, I guess that's not really innovative. It's cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
They're cool.
It's not innovative. What about
But I'm not. It's not like, whoa, I bet they had to develop a whole new set of technology for that.
So he's right.
I think Cameron's absolutely right.
And I think Cameron didn't just mean with the technical shit. I think Cameron meant with the planets. You know, George should get way more credit for the prequel era planets. Coruscant, which I understand before you fucking, it was in a book first, and it was a book. Don't fucking fuck me. I don't give a shit if it was in a book. My eyeballs. I need to see it with my eyeballs. I love Coruscant. I can't get enough Coruscant in my life. I could literally get an entire series or 5 on Coruscant. I love it. But you had Mustafar, you had Coruscant. What was the thing from the Bad Batch where the clones? The ocean planet.
Oh shit!
That's important. Everyone is gonna fucking destroy us.
No.
They hate us.
I'm going.
Listen to Rebel Force Radio, not us. Because we can't even remember the god.
Camino.
It's
gonna come to me.
Camino. That's one. I thought that was awesome looking.
Well,
and even the Camino aliens looked fucking badass. Very cool looking to me. I'm a big Camino fan now that I think about it.
And even in the original series, you have a desert planet, you have an ice planet, you have the Cloud City. So you infer that it's kind of like on a gas giant planet. And then you have the forest. It's a forest.
But I actually think though
he
did a lot of that stuff simply because the technology wasn't all there. I think,
but even then, it's still cool.
No, it's cool. But what I'm saying is the planets stepped up a notch. I think just the look of the planets in the prequel era, and that was a good thing. And then when JJ came back, we were back to, you know, it's got to be a woods planet. It's got to be, you know, the desert planet. It's got to be that and stuff. And like, you know, well, again, that's what James Cameron's talking about. No innovation there. We've seen that before in the original trilogy. And George picked up his game in the prequel trilogy with the planets. Why wouldn't you keep picking up the game and making more dazzling planets? I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy has done what Star Wars should be doing.
Oh, like that place nowhere?
Just the planets in space looks awesome. And it's not that Star Wars would be ripping off Guardians of the Galaxy. Star Wars in the Clone Wars looked like that. It almost feels like Guardians of the Galaxy watch Star Wars Clone Wars episodes and pattern their planets and their space after Star Wars Clone Wars, like, you know, fluorescent shit. And
like that one arc where that Jedi general turns bad.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's like it's all night. Like,
thank you. And because George had a big deal to do with the Clone Wars and obviously was in charge of the prequel, you know that's how he was going. Let's make this shit really imaginative. They did kind of scale back on the planets. Think about it. So I agree with James Cameron.
Oh, I agree with James Cameron.
It's difficult to disagree with James Cameron these days. The first director to have 3 movies make $2 billion. The 2 Avatars and Titanic. That's fucking insane. Not even George Lucas or Steven Spielberg has done that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's very impressive. I still haven't seen the second Avatar.
Okay, you son of a... I haven't either. Let's go together. You could sit on my lap, and we'll live stream it for the Yaddle fans.
I don't.
And everyone will be like, "This is interesting."
I get that it's.
Come on, you sit on my lap, and we'll live stream it.
It's supposed to be a cinematic experience, but I don't know. I kind of left the first one being like, that was really cool to watch, but there really wasn't much.
I thought the first one was great because of the 3D,
the visuals.
I didn't like it when I saw it. However, recently, because I told you Disney Plus for me has the best resolution.
So you watched it in 4K, super high,
and guess what? I thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a visually stunning film, but I was like, I've seen this movie before. I came out literally saying to my friend, I went to see it with my friend Gio, and I was like, I've seen this movie before.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it had Dances with Wolves.
It's Pocahontas
Braveheart,
It's going
had Last
native.
of Mohicans. It had a lot.
It's going native.
Let's talk about
the arc.
Bad Batch
Episode 5,
Episode 5, which I'm not going to fully destroy Yaddle heads.
I think it's the best one with Omega so far.
I agree. That's what I was going to say too. Because of a 20, it was a 25-minute homage to Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And they weren't trying to hide it.
No.
And this isn't, I'm sure if you've listened to any other Star Wars podcast, everyone has brought that point up. So we know it's not an original point. But artifacts, treasure hunt, the medallion, the compass acted the same thing as the medallion from Raiders. Stuff falling down, the swapping out of the thing at the end, the cave collapsing. It was one thing after another.
I was waiting for Wanda Sykes' character to go at one point to say fortune and glory. Like, I was just like, there was this one point where they get like separated from like.
Wait, she did?
Did she say fortune? No, she didn't say fortune and glory. I would have clapped and Molly would have looked at me like I was
Dude,
crazy.
She said something about glory. No, maybe fame and glory.
I was waiting for them to say fortune and because there's that point where they get separated, right?
No, I actually think she may have said something like that to me. Or she might have said fame and glory, but it was very close to what you're talking about.
I was just
talking about when short round.
Yeah, when he goes fortune and glory, kid, fortune and
he's talking to short round.
I was waiting for her to say fortune and glory. I'd just be like, all right, yeah, this is another homage to Indiana Jones.
Now,
because it's not their first homage.
I have an idea.
It's not the first.
Oh my
homage.
God, they've done a zillion nods to Indiana Jones. In Rebels, they've done it. I mean, they did so many.
The Clone Wars one
Rebels.
Towards the end with Jar Jar and Mace.
Oh,
and they do. It's the end of Temple of Doom.
All right,
that's gotta be Filoni's favorite movie, Indiana Jones film.
Lucas and Spielberg.
I get that, but I think that might be Filoni's favorite.
Probably. I mean, where's the Indiana Jones hat, or at least he used to. Now listen, you know that, right?
Oh, the cowboy. He wears a cowboy hat.
No, it's not a cowboy. It's the Indiana Jones hat. Yes. People think that Indiana Jones, it's not a cowboy hat.
No, he wears a fedora.
It's specifically an Australian wide-brimmed fedora. It's a very specific kind. It's very hard to get. Most American fedoras are a little smaller. The Australian wide-brimmed fedora is like a fedora, but you're right, it's more of the size of a cowboy hat. But it's supposed to be shaped like your proper fedora. That's the difference. That's the difference in the Indiana Jones fedora, just in case you're wondering. But here it is. Is Camino totally obliterated? I sort of forget what happened in season 1. So I'm asking you.
I don't remember.
Okay. I thought of a way that this show could have been better. I'm sorry, but I just want people to understand how brilliant I am.
Okay.
I realized the other day, in fact, I just said it on this episode, that I really enjoy Camino. The aliens, the cool look of the planet itself, the clones, the process, everything about it. Here's my issue. They blew a beautiful opportunity. They had the Empire take out Camino and those clones if they did it completely. Yeah, they did. They blew up that fucking headquarters in season 1.
Okay.
At the end, right? Remember, there was like a big missile strike and a bombing and shit. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the point. That was a horrible decision.
Well, they have to live with it now.
No, here's what they could have done. And again, maybe Star Wars, before you do any movies going forward, run them past me. I'll give you a few notes on how to make them cool rather than how for them to suck. And Bob Iger, you don't have to pay me a lot. We'll call this the Davy Mac Disney consulting fee. I just want $3 million per consult. That's all we're doing, Bob. You got Disney money. Don't give me that look, Bob. Now, here's what we could have done.
Okay.
You know what my biggest problem is? Omega with the Bad Batch, because she lowers the stakes of the Bad Batch, right? Yeah. You know, I want these guys to be Saving Private Ryan. These guys are a badass crew, and they're gonna, every 7-8 episodes, we might lose one of these motherfuckers. We don't know, okay? So I wanted the stakes higher. What we could have done, maybe what they can still do if they get creative and think of a way to do it, I don't know. Get Omega away from the Bad Batch.
Separator.
But I ain't an Omega hater. I am going to now put Omega in a big time spot. So for all the people saying Davey Mack was an Omega hater, I just hate her with the Bad Batch. I don't think anyone, benefits from Omega and the Bad Batch. I think everyone loses with that. Here's what we do. Omega, we find out she doesn't have the Force. She doesn't have this and that. She's the smartest clone out there. Most intelligent. By maybe like 1 million IQ points.
I thought that's supposed to be Tech.
Omega is now. Tech is the smartest for those guys. But he's the smartest, say, a grown-up male clone. But in terms of any clone, any age, anything, Omega is 900 IQ points, okay?
Okay.
And this is what Omega's plot is. She's the one who slowly uncovers the fact that the Empire is going to go around the galaxy terminating the clones because they want to, A, get rid of any proof of Order 66, and B, bring in new stormtroopers that can be completely indoctrinated by the Empire and have these new soldiers will have zero ties to the Jedi. But it's a slow process. It's more like Andor. We're figuring shit out. And it's Omega figuring out, breaking into computer systems and banks and security shit and this and that, putting the pieces together, finding a memo from Tarkin that says, such and such, make this happen and blah, blah, blah. And her deal is try to get the message out to the clones. If the clones are in Kamino, she's trying to evacuate those clones off the planet. If the clones are somewhere else, she's trying to send them a hologram or some shit. Watch out, the Empire's there. But all this time, she's trying to figure out the thing. Someone's illegally accessing these computer files. That means that a little red alert gets set off in the Empire. Someone now is trying to track who is this person leaking this information. So she is uncovering that the Empire wants to mass murder the clones. She is the one who unravels this mystery while someone else is trying to kill her. And all the while, the Bad Batch is off doing their thing. And then after 3 seasons of this shit, they will meet. Because they're going to have to meet because she's protecting clones. She'll run into the Bad Batch.
That
boom!
That sounds like a really good idea.
Thank you, Iger!
However, I think what they're going to do is something along those lines, but they're not going to separate her from the Bad Batch.
Big mistake.
And now, if you want to raise the stakes, I would suggest, and I'm going to borrow a Star Trek term, we should start introducing some red shirts. Some clones that, maybe have gone rogue, have kind of become...
it's the Bad Batch you're talking about.
Well, not only but the Bad Batch is picking up recruiting clones that have kind of left the army.
I think that's going to happen.
And those guys, they become endearing, you like them, and they die. You redshirt them.
I think those guys are going to happen. I know what you mean. But what about my Omega simply being this cool Kamino detective? Maybe she goes off planet a few times, but she's essentially a Kamino detective figuring out this huge imperial plan to
get rid of the clones,
mass murder the clones. I think that's the way that would have been the way to go. That would have been the show. And all I'm saying is they bombed Kamino. But do we know all those aliens and those clones are dead? If not, if they rebuilt the place, Dave Filoni, fire Jennifer Corbett. Fire Jennifer Corbett.
I wouldn't fire her.
Fire Jennifer Corbett. She has taken the Clone Wars, the most epic animated series in Star Wars history, and if this is a spin-off, I was thinking about this too. This is a spin-off of that show.
I just think
this show needed to be more adult-ish or just more mature. I've told you, and I'm telling you right now, 13-year-old son, Stanley Mack, is out. He said the other day, I said, the new Clone Wars, you gotta watch, or the new Bad Batch is pretty good with Crosshair, episode 3. He didn't want to watch it.
He watched it and
No, he didn't.
Oh, really?
And he didn't watch episode 4, and I talked to him today, and he's not watching episode 5. He said he's out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You lost a 13-year-old. Now, tell me if that's a good plan, Disney. Your cartoons are aimed at, I know they're for families, but you don't make things for 4 and 5-year-olds. A family show you can make for a 12-year-old and everyone in the family will love it. You see? And for a 12-year-old, they do need a little bit maturity. Otherwise, they actually get proud and think things are babyish. If a 13-year-old thinks something is a babyish, they're going to be allergic to it. Stanley Mack is allergic to Bad Batch. He is officially out. Sith Stanley.
I think that they should just make more. Like, they have all this money. They're putting out all these shows. Like, I understand that it's kind of like they're putting out 4 pieces of content a year. So it's like there's always going to be some kind of content coming out. So it's like we go from the Bad Batch into Mando 3 into, Ahsoka into Skeleton Crew. So there's always something going on. But I don't understand why they can't have, 4 if they're not putting out movies, then you can put out, 3 or 4 television shows and 2 or 3 animation shows. And they could be geared towards different things, especially with the animation. Now, because the money that you're going to spend on a movie, you could put, two different television shows out for what they're spending on.
Agreed.
The Mandalorian.
Listen,
or any.
I got no problem with more.
I think the production value on the Bad Batch
excellent
is cinematic. It's excellent.
The show looked great. And I do agree. That's why I'm not hammering the show this week. I'm a little let down at just what this show is. I am. But this episode
was better.
Yeah, because of the visuals. The visuals were unbelievable. And even though it was 9,000 Indiana Jones things, guess who's a major fucking Indiana Jones fan? Me. I love Steven Spielberg. I love Indiana Jones. I can't get mad. It's a Lucasfilm property.
And
they're ripping off their own property.
Was that
no big deal? It's an homage.
First time we've ever seen a kind of Mecha Godzilla type?
Now what was that monster? They're saying it was a Sith monster?
I didn't think it was a Sith monster.
People are saying that monster was created by the dark side and that Sith created that monster just to have him sit there for 2,000 years until someone got that far to unlock, and then once that thing gets far, that thing comes out. They planted a 1,000-year-old trap.
I could totally see that, and then planting the backstory of the key of it being of high value.
Yeah,
to
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. I like.
I'm not taking credit. The online peoples are saying that.
That's a pretty good theory. I like
There you go, online peoples. I wish we could give you credit. All right, Star Wars cage match. And then we'll get out of here of this very
Yes, I have one.
action-packed, chock full of Star Wars episode.
K2SO.
Star Wars cage match is K2SO
versus IG-88.
IG-88. K2SO, the droid from Rogue One.
Yes.
Versus BB.
No, IG-88.
IG-88.
The bounty hunter.
I know. Shit.
Good match, eh?
That is a good match. You finally brought a good fucking match to the table.
Okay.
It's taken you 41 Yaddle Chattle episodes. Congratulations.
It takes a while to.
I love K2SO so much. He's been one of the most, if not the most successful Star Wars droid to date. He has. I love him. I just love him. I thought he was great in Rogue One. I thought he was funny, but I also thought he did have the size to, do some ass kicking when he beat up those stormtroopers. I just loved him. IG-88, though, is a goddamn fucking machine. And look, here's the bottom line. Go ahead, stretch for me for a second. Go ahead. I got this on my wall. For those of you watching on YouTube, I have this on my wall right next to my TV. Look at this. Look at this. It's a goddamn painting. Get that glare out of the way. There it is. It's a bounty hunter painting of all the Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters signed by the artist. And there's my boy, IG-88. Right there, baby. So you know what? fuck you. I don't got a goddamn K2SO painting on my wall. I got an IG-88 painting, so fuck you. IG for the TKO.
Nah, I'm going to say K2SO would win. And, you know, I'll give IG-88, he's got a lot of guns. He's probably very fast with those guns, as we saw that other
IG-11.
IG-11 was like really like a quick draw. But I'm going to go with strength and durability and the fact that
he could take a pounding.
K2SO could probably take a few shots.
He did. He got a headshot and shit.
We saw the way he lifted.
Guy's a badass. He's strong. He might have the strength advantage on IG-88, but as you pointed out, I think firepower, IG-88's not going to lose with the firepower. Hand-to-hand strength, if you're telling me we got no weapons, hand-to-hand strength, K2SO's got a shot.
But I think K2SO...
But you didn't say that.
I think...
You fucked that up. You said you allowed the goddamn weapons. Once the weapons are allowed, forget it.
Yeah, but K2SO could still shoot. He's always asking for a gun.
Yeah, but he doesn't have 9,000 arms and literally guns implanted on his body.
I guess. I just still think that he'd probably like take a few shots and then just knock him out or break him in half, because it doesn't seem like the K2S bots are very durable. They seem like they don't take a licking and keep on ticking, if you will.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Fantastic action-packed episode, I must say. A lot of Star Wars. I know I brought a lot of fire, a lot of electricity.
Ready?
A brand new thing, the Yaddle Chattle MVP of the night. For the person who brings the most electricity to the show. And tonight, on the first annual Yaddle Chattle MVP of the night, going to Darth David! Roy's calling me. I can't.
Oh, why did you put it on? That would have been fun.
No, I can't.
Don't text him right now. We're about to close out the show.
I know, but he's gonna. Okay, go ahead. So, I am the first annual MVP of the night. Period.
Okay.
I just feel like my points were better than yours, more salient, superior, more intelligent. You know, you kind of have mushy brain sometimes. Stupid thoughts.
Is this just another ploy for you to make yourself the winner and I'm the loser?
No, but I will say the Yaddle Chattle MVP of the night does get an automatic 5,000 points. So congratulations to me on that. That's 5,000 points coming my way for winning the
Yaddle MVP
of the night.
Not only will I have to lose points, I lose the cage matches, but now there's the MVP.
MVP of the night, please. Please get the branding properly. As you know, the branding's important because I just came up with it 8 seconds ago.
Okay. So it's just another way to make me lose. All right.
Come on, let's go.
Got
Let's
it.
get out of here.
I'll make it a note.
Roy.
Okay. You can follow Eastside Dave on all social media
Dark
platforms.
Side Roy, by the way. Dark Side Roy. He's a Sith friend of mine, by the way. Go ahead.
He's more of a scoundrel.
Please.
So yeah, follow Eastside Dave across the board at Eastside Dave on all social media platforms. You can check it out. You can check this show out on EastsideDaveCountry.com, wherever podcasts are available, Apple, Google, Spotify, or YouTube, Eastside Dave TV.
All right, well, listen.
Questions, comments, art, theories.
What's the email?
YaddleChattle@gmail.com.
That's simple. YaddleChattle@gmail.com. Hey, listen. Bad Batch, episode 5, better. Jared's right. It was the best Omega episode. Lots going on Star Wars. I'm excited. He's Jedi Jared. I'm Darth David.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.